lectures with Imam Bukhari, we meet again. The question now is, how did Imam Bukhari start the process of writing the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Did he invent all of this? How come that all of a sudden he came with this book? In order to understand, we need to trace the history of the writing down and the narration of the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is one of the challenges brought and points of criticism which ignorant people bring against Imam Bukhari and his Sahih. The writing down of the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not start with Imam Al-Bukhari. There were several, and I would say many books written before Al-Imam Al-Bukhari. However, we should here highlight the fact that the major method of narration of hadith was not writing, it was oral narration. Arabs were excellent in memorization. They excelled in just knowing by heart what is said to them. So the Sahaba did not write in books except very few. Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, for example, he wrote down. The Tabi'een also, some of them, they had some books. Hammam ibn Munabbih, Amr ibn Shu'ayb, for example, two of the followers, students of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, who had their own books. But later on, it was Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, the famous Umayyad Caliph, who issued an order to the scholars of his time to write down the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. So many books were written at that time. Jami' of Sufyan ibn Uyayna, Waki' ibn al-Jarrah wrote. The most famous book of that era, probably considered to be the soundest before the Sahih of Imam Bukhari, is the Muwatta of Imam Malik ibn Anas. So when Imam Bukhari was a student, a young boy even at the age of before 10, he already memorized several books from Sufyan al-Thawri, for example, and Waki' ibn al-Jarrah, two major students, and the books would be dozens of works that contained thousands and thousands of hadith. He memorized all of that by heart. However, it is important here to notice that Imam Bukhari did not bring the books around him when he wrote the Sahih and just copied from them, as people do now, cut and paste. Imam Bukhari memorized 100,000 sound hadiths and memorized 200,000 other hadiths that are either good or weak or others. And from that selection that he memorized, he filtered the soundest of all the sound hadith and compiled them in his book later on. So his work actually is a continuation of the earlier tradition of writing hadiths, but he was unique in selecting only sound hadith. It was the first book that contained the Sahih.
كم سعيت إلى أعتاب سدته فعدت أرفل في ثوب بنته